Hello, so hopefully this is live and you can hear me, and hopefully the notification gets sent out. So yeah, the Cobra 2 or Cobra Revision or the Virtuous helmet or the Battle Skin Cobra or whatever bloody name it's got came today. It's a very cool helmet, but bloody hell do they have so many different names for this helmet. So there you go, it's got the night vision all mounted up to it, and it looks pretty dope. So there we go. So it means I've now got actual head-mounted night vision that I can use. Only issue, obviously, of course, in here is because I've got the lights all on and that, I can't take the front cap off, so it's very, very sort of tunnel visioned. There you go. So I'll leave this on for a couple of minutes, and I'll flick the night vision up, turn it off, and put my glasses on. To be honest, this reminds me a lot of the old Command and Conquer covers. If you're familiar with, like, I suppose the original doesn't have a guy with, like, night vision on, does it? But Red Alert did. No, the UK doesn't have, oh, you can see the infrared hitting the screen there. No, the UK hasn't had conscription since, like, the 50s or whenever it was. I quite like this, to be honest, because it means I can have the cover off or on if I want it. But yeah, whether or not I'll keep it with this, I don't know, because it's sort of good to be able to take it off and on, I reckon. I mean, yeah, you've always got the issue, haven't you? If you've got the one where you can remove the cover, that it's not always going to properly line up with the helmet in places. But I like the idea that I can remove it and put it back on. What, the night vision dark shadow or the helmet? The helmet was about 250 quid. Night vision was pretty close to 250 quid, so that'd be like 500 total for both of these. All right, anyway, what I'll do now is just flick off the night vision and put this up. Still kind of weird getting used to where I'm meant to be feeling for all the bits. There we go. And then I'll pop that on. This was actually the most awkward cover when I ever took it off to actually put it back on, in terms of, you know, trying to get all the bits to line up on it. Right, people, don't argue in the chat or everybody will get blocked doing it, just as a warning. The only reason recently I've not been buying loads of gas masks is because I've just been finding more interesting, like, Geiger counters and stuff like that, you know, have been at decent-ish prices. Whereas, you know, like a lot of the gas masks, I've just not been seeing things I haven't already got, or, you know, that don't look really, really similar to something I've already got. You can't easily get one, Oi, but as I was saying in a stream the other day, I might actually do that, just because it's cheaper than getting a house over here. Then the Fallout shelter sign would be relevant. Yeah, because ROC bunkers aren't very practical for normal people to live in. So if you've got somebody who's a bit of an enthusiast who wants one, they end up being way, way cheaper than a flat. What, you mean the bit there? Yeah, I won't take it off in this stream, but, you know, I'll keep it on for now. But, you know, it can obviously come off and on. But, the main annoying issue I find of it is just how annoying it is to kind of put this cover back on when you take it off, because it's so elasticated. But yeah, in terms of weight and comfort, amazing. And yeah, I really like this adjustment system where you just literally tighten that, and it tightens the entire inner lining of the helmet. All right, cheers, Dark Shadow. The rifles that were on the wall, the DX, are gone now. I mean, I still own them, but I can't actually show them, so they have to be just out of the frame because of YouTube's new, very strange policy. All right, not many people on tonight. Did the notification go out properly, or do you think it's because there was a video that went live today, so YouTube has not sent a notification out? Let me look up which one the MC68 is, because I don't recognise the name off the top of my head, but I know a lot of masks have various names. Well, the only thing that comes up when I search that is the Steve Gorman VistaVision. I have a VistaVision. There's one literally there. I've never heard it called the MC68 before. Oh, that's cool, Mike. This one cost about 200 odd quid, but that was somebody selling it kind of like as an as-new second-hand one. If you buy these new, normally they're like 300 odd quid, but it's Gen 1 Plus. Gen 2 night vision would be like over $1,000, yeah. Yeah, this is the best adjustment system I've seen on any helmet. I mean, whether or not something will eventually break there and ruin it, I don't know. But yeah, if I show you this, I'll just try and make sure the what's it is at an angle people can't see it with all the serial number on and that. But yeah, so you just adjust the entire helmet liner by doing that, which makes it really practical, because obviously all you need to do is pop the helmet on, do the chin strap up. You can adjust both of the straps there and there and there and there as well, but then, you know, just tighten that a little bit more if you need to. Yeah, it is very good, Mike. It's definitely be my best helmet out of all the ones I've got. But it also offers the best level of protection, because it's that, you know, thermoplastic stuff rather than being actual Kevlar. So it's, you know, like the next thing on from Kevlar. Right, I'm glad you enjoyed the videos. I'm afraid I don't know how to pronounce your name. TSZ? Would that be like C? Would that be how that's pronounced? I have no idea, I'm afraid. Wow, do you mean, do I think World War III is going to kick off any day now? Absolutely not. Could a World War III happen? Of course it could, but you know. So, yeah, I'm trying to think what else I need to show that's interesting. I mean, I won't, again, put all the night vision on with that, but if I fold that down, that should line up pretty well with my glasses, actually. Yeah, oh, that lines up very well, actually. It's probably fits slightly better with my glasses on than when I've not got the glasses on, in terms of, like, looking through it. Yep. Thank you. Thanks, Hype. That mount works really well with this, actually. So, yeah, that's all sorted. Obviously, I've got, like, the Rhino style mounts, or whatever the elasticated ones are called for, like, the East German helmet over there. So I can put those on any of the old retro helmets if I want to. But, yeah, it was a case of using pliers on the J-arm or whatever it was called, getting the washer that had screwed up on there off. When the washer came off, I could have reused the screw, but because I had another one that was in better condition, I just used that screw. Right, this is a helmet that seems to have several different names, but the Battle Skin, like, revision or something, or Cobra 2 revision, or the Virtuous helmet. I got it for £250, and it seems it's probably not even been issued, because if I won't show it in the video for obvious reasons, if you look where the serial number and everything is, there's not actually any names written in it, and there was like no dandruff or dirty marks on it or any sand on it. Revision Cobra. Okay. I've got a couple of plate carriers. I'm pretty sure I've done videos on them. Not all of them actually have plates in. The only ones I've really got set up are the ECBA and the what's the other one? The Polish one I've got set up. But yeah, if I just grab this guy. So yeah, I really like this dosimeter as well for the people who haven't been on the last stream, because yeah, the Terra P Plus is amazing. If somebody wants to see how quickly this updates compared to the SOX, I can demonstrate that pretty well. So if anybody's interested in that, I will show them that. No, I've not got any Romanian gas masks, weirdly enough. This is a large, but I didn't want to get a medium. It's not too big on me. I mean, there's obviously like padding and everything in there. It's like the front pad sits quite tight to my forehead. Right, okay, so just to point out, annoyingly on the webcam, it might be quite hard to see the screen on this one because I can press this button here, the threshold one, and it lights up for a few seconds in the dark. But otherwise, it might shine too much light off. But what I'll do is, if I just aim the webcam down at the chair, and then I can pop this one here. Now, yeah, annoyingly, you're not going to see that very well, are you? But I was wondering if there's an angle where you can probably see the numbers on it. Yeah, it's probably not going to work, but I'll still try and demonstrate it. If I grab the SOX, right, what we're going to do is pop them both next to each other, and you'll see how quickly one will update from the other. So what I'll do actually is if I grab the webcam, I might be able to get that a bit lower down so it's easier to see. All right, Richard. So hopefully, yeah, there we go. Okay, so this one's reading 0.32. That's reading 23 because it takes ages to go back down as well. But now let's introduce it to something fairly hefty. And you'll see just how long it will take the SOX compared to the therapy to actually get up to the dose rate, if it even makes it to the dose rate. And I can show you that with a few different examples. So this won't be consistently radioactive across the entire thing, but I've got some samples in here. So watch this. Oh, thank you very much, Oi. Thank you. If you've got a Discord, post the ID, and then you know, you can get a link. But anyway, that's still showing 16. This one's already updated to 26. No, I hopefully want to go this year. But at the moment, the problem's been trying to find a tour company that does like the all-inclusive stuff where you don't have to mess about, you know, arranging loads of different things. So yeah, look at the update speed between the two dosimeters. It's pretty crazy. If I pop them both here, actually, that might show you even more effectively. So by the look of it, the therapy is at 141.6, and that's still at 24. Even though the therapy's got the beta shield closed on it, and the SOX is definitely going to pick up beta radiation as well. Very, very marginally, Alva. I'm probably increasing them more already doing this. Yep. Let me show you something actually very interesting with the readings of how quickly they change. I'll put one sample on both things, and then I can demonstrate that pretty well. So if I get out, this is something I can handle with my bare hands because it's, you know, like a sealed check source. Let me get the strontium-90 sealed check source out, or like semi-sealed check source, whatever. So let me show you what happens first if I put that on this one. I'll just put the webcam back up actually. I might as well just do it while holding them. At least this one, oh, can't shoot a Lee Enfield. At least this one's fairly directional. So this is already going up because it knows it's there, but watch what this one goes up to and how long it kind of takes to update. So 47. Probably, Chris, I'll test them on different helmets, but this would be the most practical way of using them. I mean, it's easy enough to take off because you can literally just push that little button, can't you, and remove them. You know, I'm gripping it right. Hang on. It's probably best I do that with two hands, but yeah, I'll do it with two hands in a minute. But yeah, you only need to grip there. So that's still saying 46. Also, notice the dead time of the Geiger tube in here because of how the SOX's electronics works. So if I go to searching, notice how you get dead time. It's actually being worse today than it sometimes is, but where it just stops reading for a bit. Right, let me just turn it this way in case the Geiger tube sits a bit more efficiently this way. And then I'll position my hands like this so I'm not getting beta rays shooting into my hands. But anyway, I think this demonstrates the point that while the SOX knows there's something radioactive there, it's not doing a very good job. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. We'll open the beta cover on the Terra P. Also, something I want to just point out with the Terra P, if I get the strontium 90 and do that, you'll barely see the rating change because it's shielded, which is what's really nice about this one. Like, there'll be a bit that will get through, but for the most part, it's not going to crazily start jumping up. The reason being that it's got a really good shielded thing. So, you know, only gamma and X-rays get through unless you open the beta cover. Right, now then, let's see how quickly the number changes on this one. Are you ready? Let's get this at an angle where you can see it. Right, here we go. And I think we've already got basically our number. Is that about 537, 540 it did? But yeah, the point is the Terra P is just so much better than things like the SOX or the other ones. Like, if they're a budget Geiger, I don't really mind, but it's just, you know. Yeah, it's amazing how quickly this one just kind of refreshes. You can get counterweights for them, Iron Man, but this one really doesn't need it, in all honesty, because as long as you've got the helmet done up tight enough, it's not going to really keep tilting forwards on your head. Yeah, its refresh speed is really good. Let me get another sample and show you using something else as well. Let me just pop this back. Right, let's just do it with all these bits of radium in here. So let me just seal this bag back up. So I've closed the beta shield on here, so it will only be the gamma, but watch this. Again, it's getting to the number it's going to stabilize at very quickly. Obviously, I can move it to different areas where it might be more or less sensitive. But, you know, the point is that it will go to the different numbers really quickly. Whereas the SOX, if he's still working at the moment, let me just try and see if I can tighten up the tube in there. If I do that with the SOX, what will probably happen is it will max out even with the beta bit open. Oh, he's just shitting the bed again from the radiation level. Hang on. There we go. But yeah, oh, it's only 24. Yeah. So yeah, the much better one is that Kajo one hype you sent me in terms of that compared to it. But the only issue still with this one is this will sometimes just crash out from, or like, you know, the numbers will just clock over so fast that they kind of go back to the beginning again. So what's that? 3.1 microsieverts, 3.14, 75. So it goes up faster than the SOX saying that. I'll let go of this in a minute because I'll see I'm shooting so much beta energy through my hands doing this. 153. The SOX I was sent for free, but they're normally about £100 retail. So for that price, I'd say just save up another £70 and get the the Terra P. 318, but that will clock back over in a minute. I think that's 400 and something, but for some reason one of the digits isn't displaying. Oh, and it's gone into power saving mode. Hang on. I'm not sure if he's clocked over again yet, or he's just yeah, I just keep it in shielded boxes, Lucas, so when I'm not using it, the radiation is pretty much just background. But anyway, yeah, if you want to see how good the pulsar is at that with the beta shield open, we'll do that, and then we'll put this shit away again and not play with it for the rest of the stream to minimize exposure. So yeah, we'll get the beta tube out. So, and there's the tube pipe if you wanted to see it. They've put like a plastic cover on it to stop it getting contaminants on it. But it is pretty much just a old Soviet / Russian tube. But yeah, here we go. See how quickly the number goes up on this one. I'll hold it up that way so you can see it. It's already over a millisievert. Is that 1.5 millisieverts? Yeah, but there you go. It gives you some idea of just how quickly this one updates compared to the others. So yeah, the Therapy is definitely my most recommended one out of all the ones I've got at the moment, just because it's a military grade one. Right, let me put this safely away. Back in the tin I've got for it at the moment. And what I was just going to do is I've been storing these in there with it. So what I can do with these is check. This one still says 0 centigrade. I'm not sure if this one's working. This one still says 0 Rontgen. I don't think either of these are working. I think the only dosimeter pens I've actually got that work are both the DKP50s, weirdly enough. So that's weird, isn't it? Thinking that my old Polish communist dosimeter pens work better than both my British and my US CDV ones. At least that's a 2-2 success rate compared to, it seems, not a single working one of these out of the 3 I've got, and not a single working one of these out of the 4 I've got. So they either don't update or they like discharge themselves really quickly. Right, let me just pop this guy away again. No, I've played very few of the COD games. I liked them at one point, but I'm just really not into them. I don't even play as much as I'd like to most of the times. But some of the surplus is in other rooms, Lucas. This is just the room with the vast majority of it stuffed in. What's the time there? Oh, I've unplugged the clock behind me, haven't I? So you can't see it. 21 minutes past 8, so 2021. Yeah, I've already put a pretty impressive accumulative dose on this in the couple of days I've had it. There we go. So it's a cumulative dose. Nearly 5 millisieverts at this point. And that is in 22 hours of it running. So, I'm sorry, 55 hours of it running. 55 hours, 41 minutes of it running. And yeah, that's the current time there. So yeah. Ooh, there was something else I forgot to show on the stream the other day. So let me go get that. This guy turned up. I can't remember if I said pipe the other day. So as you can see, the background at the moment is pretty safe in here because the stuff's been put back away. But let's go get a nice looking rock, shall we, and see what happens. Just bear with me 1 second. Ooh, these are nice looking rocks, aren't they? Oh dear. But yeah, works perfectly for what it is. Little chirping dosimeter. Yeah, I think though this only goes up to 5 milli Rontgen if I remember. from what the seller said on the description page. I know it's a really low number. I think it's something like 0 to 0.2 millirontgen is green, like 3 millirontgen is yellow or something, and 4 to 5 millirontgen is red. It takes quite a while to reset the needle on it, though. Yeah, it works fine. It was quite good. I was testing it compared to some of the other Geigers when I was looking at the range, and it's very accurate to the other ones. It's just obviously it doesn't go on a very high range. It's got a little clip on there that doesn't seem all that sturdy, but it's quite retro looking, which is what I like about it. Weirdly, you can put 2 different types of batteries in it. All right, see you, Alvar, if you're off. No, I don't have any Soviet artillery binoculars. Right, if I can get this open, because it's one of those old plasticky kind of hatches that doesn't want to open. There you go. So yeah, it's kind of like the old watch batteries it has. So this one doesn't have anything in it, but you can either put a battery or a load of batteries in between that one and that one, or 2 batteries in that one. And it came with the 2 batteries in that one. So there you go. If I can get the cover back on, because as I said, old sort of cheapo plastics reminds me of old calculators. Yeah, it's quite a cool device, but again, it will max out very quickly. I think even something like a thorium lamp mantle will max this out. Yeah, let me just see if a thorium lamp mantle will max it. That's actually not going to quite max it. So it's not super sensitive, but I suppose, is this only meant to read gamma? Because the symbol on the front makes it look like it's only meant to read gamma. But I've not actually tested it with a beta-only source like the strontium yet to see how that works. I can see you, Lucas. Well, it's kind of like unused condition, but it's vintage, yeah. You know, because it's an old analog display on it, not a it's not like a digital readout. The Pulsar is the name of it, Pulsar Challenger. Bought off eBay. This is the noise it makes if I start moving it near rocks or plane dials. But yeah, but for what this is, it's very good. The person I bought it from Redition, though, was selling it because it was one Hype spotted, and Hype donated quite a bit towards it. The seller was selling it, I think it was like 200 odd quid. It was a lot less than the retail price normally goes for them. The Pulsar isn't a Geiger. The Pulsar is the night vision. The Terra P is the good Geiger I was showing earlier. The nice thing with this, though, if you take this to Chernobyl, you'll struggle to max it out. Because this was the only one, and this was the reason I went for a Terra P, where I could see pictures of people in the Pripyat basement of, you know, like the hospital, putting it on the fireman's clothing and getting, you know, readings in the hundreds of millisieverts. Whereas the issue was, like, with a lot of them, people take a Gamma Scout down there and go like, oh, it says 2 millisieverts, so that is as high as it is. Like how my SOX tends to max out between the 400 and 500 range, even though it's technically meant to go up to 1 millisievert. Whereas the entire range on this, I think, is 9,999 millisieverts. So 9.999 sieverts basically. Or I think this also goes up to, was it 9,999 rank then it goes up to, this one? The Terra P, I bought it when they did their post-Christmas sale. The Terra P Plus is like normally £20 or £30 more. But the standard Terra P is like, if you can get it at a good price, £150 to dollars brand new. So compared to something that retails like the SOX for, you know, like half the price to 2/3 of the price, the Terra P is much better. I don't know, Vladimir. It's made by a company called EcoTest in Ukraine. But other than that, I can't really tell you. There's a label on it. They do have a website, but it's just one of the very few shielded Geiger counters that's just sold readily available to civilians. Okay, yeah. Yeah, no worries. But yeah, it was just one of the ones that, you know, I found quite interesting because it actually, you know, was one that you can literally buy on retailers online. Although it's cheaper on their website than Amazon or eBay, I'll just say that now for people who might be interested in one. You know, it's one where you can actually buy it and it's like a proper shielded military one, rather than, you know, where a lot of them are like the SOX or the Gamma Scouts or any of the other brands of one where they just overload really easily. Yeah, it'll be interesting, Chris. Definitely do videos on that. 0, Lucas, out of all that number. Thank you, Droops and Noop. This is the one I was waiting for ages. And I would have gotten it yesterday, except the courier tried to deliver it when I was on the toilet in considerable pain with like IBS, IBD kind of bullshit. Because, you know, just having inflammatory bowel disease like ulcerative colitis wasn't enough. I had to develop then irritable bowel syndrome as well. So now I seem to eat stuff that gives me the shits and stomach cramps, as well as my stomach trying to kill my body anyway. That's NVG. It's a Gen 1 Plus. My thermal doesn't have a... I'm pretty sure the flare doesn't. No, the flare annoyingly doesn't have a mount. Because otherwise, yeah, you could have the flare flip down, because it would work for that. Just sadly, it doesn't actually have a... you know, you could probably rig it up to one. But yeah, that's the thing that's a bit of a shame. What's got too many rads then? Oh, what? Causing the shits? Well, when I looked, actually, I properly looked into that. The amount of radiation you need to absorb to get diarrhea and like vomiting and all that from radiation sickness is generally well into the period of, you know, you're in quite serious trouble. Because I've not been having any of the other side effects, I really doubt that's the case. So there you go. As much as the you know, chances are that I do like playing with radioactive things, I think what will be probably a lot more likely is that I just find out when I'm 50 or 60 I've got some horrible cancer. But, you know, that might happen anyway because I've got ulcerative colitis, which tends to lead to colon cancer by the time you're 50 or 60 anyway. So maybe I can give myself my own radiotherapy for that. And yeah, Hype, you didn't see it, did you? Because you weren't on the stream the other day. The other really cool one is this thing. Even though it's retro as shit, yeah, it turns out you can read alpha radiation with this, which is really fucking cool. So yeah, I'll show you on the stream right now how it works. But yeah, I watch Weapon Collector on Twitch a lot, but I don't actually do any videos myself on Twitch. So yeah, you take this little screw off the front. Oh, I got the lamp working on this that wasn't working for ages. I had to completely take off this bit where they put the calibration seals and just completely clean it and reseat it, and then it started working. But anyway, so the two settings are on with lamp, which you probably won't be able to see on the stream that the lamp's on there because the room lights are on. and then just regular on. And then you've got your range selector switch, because it's a cool old ion chamber. So you've got, hang on, that was the wrong setting, wasn't it? That's on the blank. Oh, wait, there we go. Which one's the range switch? There we go. So yeah, you've got your color coding of how doomed you are. And the only reason the needle's sitting there at the moment is just because I'm holding it this way up. It's not, the radiation level isn't that high, don't worry. If you put it this way down, it doesn't actually show much at all. But because it's an ion chamber, you seem to have to always have them that way up, or they fuck up. But yeah, because it's got the alpha window there, which you won't be able to see into on the camera. Ooh. You can stick things in there and see if there's alpha rate readings coming off of them. No, because tear gas is illegal in the UK, so how could I test it? Unless the police use tear gas on me, how could I test it with tear gas? But yeah, otherwise it's pretty simple, this, but I end up really liking it. Because, yeah, I mean, the funniest thing with this is where you see that there, MD3, this is literally a retrofitted Mark II Radiac. So it's now essentially a Mark III, not a Mark II. You can see bits of the original paint job on it in places. It's all the original thing. Are there any of the old original stamps on there? Or have they wiped them out? Basically, that's just a plate where they unscrewed the original plate and put a new plate on it. Well, the night vision mount, yeah, pretty solid. Do you mean the bit on the helmet or the bit there? There's a little bit of wobble, but it's certainly not going to be able to come off on its own because it's hard enough to get it off even when you press that bit in. I'm pretty sure I've already done a video on that, Toasty. But yeah, I've got the calibration documents if anybody wants to see them. I don't know if it'll tell you when the original model was from in here, but the calibration documents are pretty damn interesting because it shows you just how long they kept these in service. So this is when in 2003 they serviced it last. So yeah, they were serving these as late as the early 2000s. Gives you some idea, doesn't it? And yeah, so they got this up to 35 centigrade, depending on which range they were using. Okay, so it shows you on here what they exposed it to and what reading they got using cesium-137. So when they exposed it to 0.5, they got a reading of 0.51. So yeah, it calibrated pretty well, although it's got like a 5% margin of error or something. So that was with cesium-137 when it was calibrated. And I think it had an americinium 241 calibration that you can basically do yourself. It's got a thing there about why it was a limited calibration to do with something to do with overloading and circuits. But, you know, it's an old analog meter, so what can you expect? Oh, there's a bit on here I read about americinium 241. I can't see that now. Because I've tested it with AM241. Where did I read that then? I'm sure I read that somewhere. Ooh, there goes a page. Oh, that's the service record. Yeah, there's a table of all the cesium tests. I thought it said AM241. Was that just on the big write-up page? Let's have a look. Ah, yeah. Where appropriate, conversion from air coma to ambient dose equivalent was carried out by factors of 1.2 for cesium-137 and 1.74 for americinium-241. So yeah, it's just where they're saying how they tested it. Essentially, they just put them in a really strong gamma field where they know exactly what the dose is of the gamma to check the needles are doing what they're meant to be doing. Yeah, I'm assuming it's just because the MOD sold a load of these off finally now. But for ages, I wanted to get a Mark II Radiac, and I was like, why aren't there any for sale? You'd think, I know Britain didn't make loads and loads of them, but you'd think they'd turn up on eBay, and it was apparently because Britain was so cheap, they kept the Mark II Radiacs in service and just retrofitted them into MD3s, as they called them, and then kept those in service until a couple of years ago. It seems weird, though, that they had something like that Plessy, which is basically a digital readout thing, but they still kept these old mechanical ones in service. Right, see you, Rich, if you're off. Might do at some point, Lucas. At the moment, everything's about scary radiation doses, I think. Although there will definitely be some night vision videos going on with this helmet soon because of how nice it is now. It's all finally kind of assembled and put together. Yeah, definitely will. That's one of the things I want to do, hype. And as well, night vision, gas mask, helmet, probably my M4 airsoft rifle, AEG, with that laser thing you gave me on there and the sort of red dot style sight. But yeah, that might be a long time coming because I'll need to film that in my friend's sort of garden, I imagine. But hopefully my Plessy will turn up tomorrow or Friday. All right, Stug. Yeah, I put some of those, whatever it's called, bitters in it. I always forget the name. Starts with A. It's not proper Baileys. It's Aldi's rip-off Baileys, which is like £3 a bottle, not £15 a bottle, whatever the fuck Baileys cost. The problem is I wouldn't give out my address for fan mail, Toasty. A couple of people I trust to have it have my address, but I wouldn't just randomly hand my address out, and a PO box is too expensive because it's like £200 to £300 a year for a PO box. And then even if I had a PO box, it seems because of how much UK law sucks, if somebody starts mailing me illegal things, I could still get into trouble for it. Yeah, I think the alcohol percentage is slightly lower, isn't it, Daniel? But yeah, the point is, I could, if I wanted to, I could get like 5 bottles of the Aldi one for the price of 1 bottle of Bailey's. So why wouldn't I? Unless you're buying like single malt, you know, whiskey or something, I don't know why you'd actually want to spend loads and loads on brand names. It depends. At the moment, Rocket Ridge, Geiger counters and everything, but for ages, gas masks. But a lot of time, it just depends what a lot of interesting stuff turns up at once on the surplus market. Well, a day in the life video would be get up during weekdays, make coffee, reply to YouTube comments, film whatever video I'm going to do for that day, edit whatever video I'm going to do for that day, upload the video, maybe do a stream later on in the day, or vice versa with the video and the stream, depending on what I'm doing that day. Maybe other things I need to go out and do that day, because obviously some days I don't even do any YouTube stuff because I'm too busy. And then Saturday and Sunday I'm at work, like actual work, not YouTube work. Best somewhat cheap gas mask. Let me think. Also, I'm getting that really weird smell again coming off the Radiac, because the Radiac has such a weird smell to it. It's not unpleasant, but it's almost like some very sterile... Oh, I thought what the Radiac smells like. You know THC, the cleaner? Or was it TCP? No, it's TCP, isn't it, the cleaner? THC is weed. You know TCP, like the antiseptic cleaner? And that's what the Radiac smells like. Really strong TCP. Yeah, I can't unsmell that now. It smells of TCP. So that's what this smells like. Very sterile. But not sterile as it doesn't have a smell. Sterile as in it's got a very strong cleaning chemical sprayed all over it. Well, people could ask me about gas masks in this stream if they wanted to. What do you mean? A stream only talking about gas masks or helping people find gas masks? I'm not on THC. Well, I'd hope not formaldehyde, but I don't actually know what formaldehyde smells like. But TCP smell. Let's Google TCP smell. It says on Wikipedia, the liquid form of TCP is one of the most well-known brands of antiseptic in the UK, and its distinctive overbearing medicinal odor can be identified as many as a generic antiseptic smell. But yeah, this is what I'm on about. That this is what the thing smells exactly like. M50. I mean, I prefer the C50 if I had the option, so I could have 40mm filters on it. The M50 overall is a better mask, although I prefer that the M40 is 40mm, so C50 wins. I've never used quad tube nods, and I've never used double tube nods. Actually, I've used double tube nods, haven't I? Because I used the PMV 57Es. So it's the 3rd gen, is it? Not even the 2nd gen. Most gas masks I never really notice a smell with, to be honest. Like, some old Geiger counters and that have really distinctive smells, but the most gas masks have like a faint rubber smell, if that. I'll probably need to edit then the description of the video I filmed on it today, saying it's 3rd gen, not 2nd gen. Then. Yeah, I've done videos on it, Lucas, if you search for them. Well, I've had the Model M on this PC for years and years and years. Obviously, yeah, I've played shitloads of games with it. Oh, it definitely still exists, Daniel. If I had to buy an antiseptic, I'd just definitely buy TCP because of the smell of it. Although TCP is kind of weird. It's one of those smells that's a bit off-putting unless you know where it's coming from, then it's fine because you're like, oh, it's an antiseptic. That's all right, Mike. I'll be at the Blue Cross tomorrow anyway, so yeah, I'll just watch a film and then go to bed. Maybe it's a similar thing then with the Radiacs. It definitely smells like they've put some sort of thing in, yeah, to do something to it. Because I can't think of like any normal preservatives that you'd put on a ion chamber or dosimeter that would smell like that. But this smells the same as well. Whenever you take the cover off of this thing, the dosimeter charges from the same period of British Army and Civil Defence stuff, like 50s to the 80s, like Cold War era. These have the exact same smell. Hang on. Yeah. Although this one smells a bit more fishy. I reckon it's some sort of grease they might have used. So it's probably a combination of they've put some sort of grease in there to keep the seal airtight. Maybe on the washer? It's not on the washer. Yeah, I think whatever they've put in there to keep it, like airtight or whatever. Not airtight, you know what I mean? Like watertight. Yeah, see, this one, Daniel, smells like TCP mixed with something a bit fishy. Whereas the Radiac or the MD3 smells overwhelmingly of TCP. Yeah, I wonder if it's the same stuff then, Daniel. Might be. Like they literally just put on everything. Yeah, it's a very distinctive smell. Yeah, that's, if anybody was wondering what it was, there you go. So you can, literally do that. And I can't really zero it on the stream because obviously I need multiple hands-free, but it's so you can just zero decimeter pins. Oh, should be quite fun, Toasty, but I'm not in the military, am I? So I wouldn't be doing gas training. Years and years ago, Lucas, probably over 10 years ago. Yep. So if I just show you. Ow, my nose. There you go. So yeah, if I just flick that on, hang on, and get the helmet lined up. Yep, I can see through that pretty well, obviously, because I'm inside. I've got the thing on, so it's completely tunnel visioning it, because the only little bit you can see through is that bit. But yeah, lines up pretty well with my eye now. I mean, I don't know if it'd actually be better folding that back at the moment. Or is it better with the eye cup closed? It doesn't really make a difference. So now I can start sticking even more IR torches on everything. I'm assuming YouTube purged that then at some point, Ghost Jesus. As I've said loads of times, top 10s aren't really the videos I want to make. I might do one now and then, because there's some ones people have requested, but I don't really want to. Yeah, you can see IR lights on the webcam, can't you? Because lots of cameras can partially see into the infrared spectrum to focus, can't they, and stuff like that. It's why I've noticed if I film certain night visions with my phone, it looks like there's a flickering light on it. And it's because my phone kind of pulses an IR light in the dark to help it keep focusing in the dark, which you can't turn off. But you wouldn't ever notice that unless you're wearing night vision. Right, I want to just do the thing now while I've got this out of looking at a strong gamma emitter and seeing if I can see fuzzy stuff. So, can I get a little mini Chernobyl going on in my eye? I know most people would say, why the hell are you doing that? But, let's use this. I'll just turn the IR light off, actually, for doing this. I don't think this is giving off quite enough to do it. But I just put it directly there. No, I can't see it, but will I still see white flashes hit the tube? No. I'll try it quickly with an aeroplane dial, and then I'll give up doing that. No, I don't have the NVG counterweight, so it does slip down ever so slightly. But, you know, I could easily get an NVG counterweight for it. But this pulsar isn't really heavy enough to dramatically do it. If I did the helmet up tighter, it wouldn't be so much of an issue. Right. Let's see. Let me look directly at the dial. Like the speedometer kind of thing. No, sadly, I'm not seeing any flashes in the thing, but it might be worth doing it in a completely pitch black room with that bit open. I don't suppose this screws up the webcam, does it, with radium? I've probably tried this before, shooting out gamma. See, I can see some static on the screen, but I assume that's just due to the darkness. Anybody see any flashes on the screen? Like little white sparkles? Oh, I think I saw one just then. Oh, yeah. They do show up on the webcam. That's cool. Yeah. It actually works. It shouldn't be blue lines. You should see a bit of... Let me just turn this off and take the helmet off, and then I'll demonstrate it. Right. I have turned that off, haven't I? No, I've just turned it back on fully. There we go. Right. I'll take the helmet off and I'll demonstrate it. What it is that gamma emitters cause static on cameras for whatever reason. Somebody who's more into science can explain why. Let me do it completely then, so you don't get any light and there's just radium there. So let me just get that in the right position so it's just the arrow on there. If I can. Or at least get something where there's loads of text on there. Like the knots bit. Yep, see that? Flash. I saw a flash then. There's one, there's one, there's one. That's bloody cool. There's one. Isn't that fucking cool? Oh, there you go. You can see that on there. For some reason, I found... I was saying that's the first time I've properly seen it. Well, I did find a load of videos of people trying to demonstrate stuff like that. And they were all saying it's easier to do with a webcam than, you know. Okay, let's see. What will these do it? Let's get them there so there's not much in the background to distract you. Obviously, these aren't as strong as the radium on the other thing. I don't think that's strong enough. Right, let me try one more thing doing that first, because I think I've got something that might be even more effective at doing it than... Yeah, so let's put all the stuff that's in here against the webcam. Oh, Chris has given a scientific explanation to it, but let's put this tin directly against it. Oh, there's one. Well, that's quite impressive on this one. Strontium, it doesn't have to be a gamma emitter, because strontium-90 is a pure beta emitter. I don't know if the strontium-90 would work. We can try it. See, I think the radium works better, just the, you know, like concentrated radium, like that. If it wants to focus again. I mean, it doesn't need to focus, it's just more that you get like a solid background to look at. Yeah, I'm seeing a few now. Oh, that's good. I don't know though, because the SR90 is there. I don't know if it's just because all this stuff is around it that you saw it. One of the, and I won't take it out of the bag for long, one of the best ones I might have for this is the mirrors they used on the old radium compasses. Because you've got that big bit of radium paint there. Let me just put that completely there. These are gamma emitters. Well, they're alpha, beta, and gammas. Yeah, there's one. Yeah. Although there's a bit in this bag of what's it? I'm trying to remember the name of it. Cesium-137. It's a quarter of a microcurie, so that's not really going to do much. But yeah, this is just kind of my most scary bag in a sense. I'll stop holding it in a second, but I saw quite a few successions of it there. I think it works better, doesn't it, when you have it like that way round, and then you've just got a complete black surface to look at, because you notice the contrast more when they flash. I saw about 5 then. Right, that will do, because holding this in my hand isn't very good. As some of you probably know exactly why. But yeah. Yeah, but I don't have any good pliers where I wouldn't fuck it up and drop them horribly. But yeah, just so you have some idea of what that was doing. That's obviously a microsieverts, but yeah, in terms of pure gamma emissions, nearly 600 microsieverts. Yeah, definitely is that sort of thing, isn't it, Mike? But actually, I wonder, with these old World War II compasses, can you see it on the other bit as well? This bit. Because that is the bit where they used it on the actual compass itself. You know, like the actual... let me show you. Don't know how obvious that will be, but yeah, there's quite a bit of radium in even that bit. So, that's all right. I can always buy another webcam if I burn it out. Yeah, I don't think that's as hot where it's in that bit, unless it shows it more that way around. Yeah, I think I can see some little flashes on there. Yeah, I don't want to burn out too many pixels with gamma rays. Yeah, radium, son, it's lots of fun. All right, how long have I been on? Oh, over an hour, so I'll go off in a minute. Yeah, thanks everybody. It's been a fun stream. Depends what period it's from, Stefan. Or Stephen. If it's World War II, almost definitely. If it's later Cold War, probably not. Britain stopped using radium paint sometime in the 50s or 60s. I think that was a similar period when America stopped using it. And I've got some MiG dials from maybe the 60s or 70s, and they don't contain radium. They've got like a much brighter glow-in-the-dark paint that isn't radioactive. Right, cheers, Rocket Ridge. Glad you like the videos. But yeah, if you want a radium dial, you're probably going to have to look for World War II era compasses and aircraft dials, because that's when they used to use loads of it to, you know, make it really bright. Yeah, cool. See everybody. So Mike's not on Twitch tonight, so I'll go watch a film and then go to bed. But yeah, good night, everybody.